I am going to show you how to personally reach out to every single realtor within your market for your painting business to get more partnerships within the next 30 days. So let me show you exactly how you can do it. So this doesn't have to be a realtor. This doesn't have to be a property manager. It could be any kind of business that you want to reach out to, right? So it could be schools, it could be churches, etc. As long as those people have their listings on places like LinkedIn, Google Maps, all those sort of things. And so in today's strategy, I'm going to show you how to personally reach out to them using cold email. With this strategy, it's not blasting out emails as some people recommend. I personally don't see great results with that, or anytime I've tried it for the clients we work with, or any of the clients that we've worked with, when they do just a broad blast, they haven't really got that great of results. And so this is going to be on how to make it look personal, right? Like it's coming from a normal email. And so this strategy, we'll be using a couple of softwares, one being instantly.ai. It is probably the best cold email software out there. And so we're going to work through it today. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. So before we hop in through that, we need to first figure out like what is cold email actually. So cold email is reaching out to someone when they haven't solicited it, right? They haven't opted in through a form, all those sort of things. And so we are basically compiling a list of people online, whether it be through their business profile, whether it be through LinkedIn, whatever may have you. And then we're reaching out to those on an individual basis to get them to show any sort of interest. So that could be them replying, saying they have a project they want quoted. It could be them setting up a meeting. It could be you setting up a call. It doesn't really matter. It's just getting them engaged and then taking them that step further, right? Making them an engaged lead. Now I understand what cold email is, and we need to know how to use it. So before we send out any cold emails, we need to figure out exactly what we want. For most painting businesses, it's more projects, right? Some it's relationships and referral partnerships. And so we want to be very clear on what we want. I'm going to go through this video as if we just want more projects, okay? So if we want more projects, we're probably going to go to the actual people that own their properties, right? So places like restaurants. And so now that we know what we want, we can figure out who to target, which is restaurants in this case, okay? So we know we want more projects and we're going to reach out to restaurants. Now, in most markets, there's hundreds, if not thousands of restaurants. And so for you to individually reach out to every single one of them, it's pretty time consuming. And so this process is just saving that time from you having to cold call every single location and you just being able to pop open your inbox, reply to them and set up a call, okay? So we're going to reach out to restaurants. So for us now, it's currently February. So we're going to create an offer around springtime, okay? So the offer could be 15% off your project if you book before March 1st, okay? Because you're trying to keep your team busy. So now we know what we're going to offer and to who we are going to target. Now it's just a matter of actually getting their contact details, crafting the messaging for those people, and then sending them out the best way possible. So to do so, what we're going to pop open is Instantly Now. So all you have to do is go to Google. Okay. Now, once we're on Google, we're just going to look up instantly.ai. Should pull you to a page just like this, and you're just going to start for free. This is the software that we're going to be sending out. Also, how we're going to get all of the leads for this campaign. Okay. Now, once you've created an account, I'd recommend you just get the free one to start off with. You'll then come into a page just like this. So once you log into the software, we're going to do a couple of things. The first is taking care of the actual email accounts, the ways we're going to send these emails out. So I wouldn't recommend using your personal email. The reason is if for whatever reason Google flags it as spam, that means your main business email will be marked as spam. It's pretty hard to get it out of there. So I'd recommend you buy a separate domain. You can do it all through Instantly here, or you can buy the domain separately and then connect it here. Then once you have that domain, you're going to hit add new, and you are going to do a done for you email setup. It's just the easiest way to go about it. You then enter your domain. So if I was example painters.com, right? You can either do a new domain or you can do an existing domain to which you already have. So if I did example painters.com here, load more, then I would just make sure that we add the actual domain into here. Okay. Okay. Now, once you have your email connected, all you're going to do is make sure it says connected and there is no problems. You're then going to open it up. For me, it says update password. That's completely fine. You're going to hit warm up and you're going to hit enable. Okay. What warm-up's going to do is it's going to send emails within its network to then make the email look like a real email. And so your email doesn't go to spam. And so with that, we get to set up custom settings. So I'd put your first name, your last name. I put the campaign sending limit. I typically put this at 50 emails for the day. You can put a random wait time. They already have that set up. I would enable the campaign slow ramp up. And then I would just set up all the records it tells you to here. Okay. I would then have a warm-up filter tag. You can add whatever that may be. It already creates it for you. And then I would use the increase per day of 2 and the daily warm-up limit 20, reply rate 38%. Okay. I would then do the warm-up settings advanced, enable, and then you can use similar numbers to these. Okay. Now, once you have that set up, it seems a little bit complicated right now, but it's basically going to make sure that this email does not go to spam. This is one of the most important parts here. Make sure that you let this run for 7 to 14 days prior to you sending out any emails. So you'll basically set up 3 to 5 of these emails before you ever send out any kind of campaigns. The reason why we need more emails is basically for every email that we have, we can send out 30 to 50 emails per day. And so it just depends on how far you want to scale it. If you want to go to and send out, say, 1,000 emails a month, you may be just fine with, 2 to 3 emails. If you're trying to send out 30,000 emails a month, it's a different story, right? And so it just depends on the volume you want to do. And you can start off small. And then I'd only recommend 3 emails per domain. That way, Google doesn't flag it again there. And so typically, if you're trying to send, say, 450 emails a day, you would need 9 emails, which is 3 domains. So you'd get all your warm up set for those email accounts, right? Just make sure that little green is on. And then once you have that on, you're going to let it do that for the next 7 to 14 days. Yeah, in the meantime, you can start building everything else out. Okay. So now you're going to go ahead and you're going to create a campaign. It's just a tab over here. Then once you have this campaign, you're going to hit add new and you can start creating it. Now I've already created an example campaign for us today. Once you click into it, you're going to see a couple of things. You're going to see how many leads have started through it, the open rate from those, the click-through rate, the amount of opportunities, basically meaning the positive replies, the conversions, and any other activity. This may seem like a lot of numbers. Don't worry about it quite yet. Okay. The first step of setting up your campaign is getting the leads inside of it. So I've already done so and I've uploaded a bunch of leads. Okay. This is for apartment buildings. Okay. So you can see they're all apartment buildings within here. Now, if I was reaching out to apartment buildings, I would then craft an email around it. Now we go to sequences and we have it all written out here. So once you're creating your sequences, you're going to want to have basically your first email. I would typically have 2 emails in the beginning here, just depending on the volume. And you can use any of these headlines. These have worked quite well for us before, these subject lines. So the email structure is pretty simple. All it is an intro, right? Like a hook. So, hey, we are looking to take on 3 more X projects, right? It's then going to be the benefits of what you guys provide. So, you could lead even with, hey, I've heard a lot of other property management companies had problems with X, Y, and Z. That's why we do A, B, and C, right? And so people can trust you and that you're going to do a better job than maybe a pain point they already have. And then you're going to ask for a very easy ask, okay? And so with that, I would typically just ask, hey, do you have 15 minutes later next week and we can set up a quick call, or I can come to the building, whatever it may be. And so this is where you get to have a lot more fun, is in the actual copy. You'll then have 3 versions, right? So you don't have to make them all different, but within these versions, you're going to use custom variables based off the leads that we generated. So you can see here, hi first name, right? And we're pulling it directly from the variables we scraped in the leads. So we don't have first name in this case. And so what we actually use is just hi company name. Then we have hi company name. I'm X, owner of X in city. So then you just set up the custom variables, make sure they all look good, right? So this is an example here. I'm an owner of Pain on the North Shore. We help property managers keep strata, common area suites, and exterior trims looking sharp without disrupting the residents. We work nights and weekends, provide COI, WCB, and handle tenant notices so your team doesn't have to. The typical turnaround for a written quote is 24 to 48 hours after a walkthrough. If you have touch-ups or a larger refresh coming up at building name on X Street, let me know and we can pop by for a quick look and get a firm number. 15 minutes is all I need. You can reply here and grab a time. You just have a calendar link. And all those variables will custom fill because we already have all the leads. Then you want to have the follow-ups built in. So you can see here on the left, we have follow-ups. So step 2, the exact same thing. It's using the variables. Step 3, step 4, step 5. So you typically want to have 3 to 4 follow-ups on each email, and then we'll have it all pushed through. Okay. So once you have the sequences done, all written out, we can then have the schedule built out, right? So we have the leads, say we have 1,000 leads within there. We have the sequences and we've tested it out and we've looked at all the variables, making sure they match up. The next thing is adding the schedule. So I typically would do just 8 to 8, 9 to 6. These are all fine. Just make sure it's within your time zone. And then Monday through Friday. And you can just hit save on there. And then options, you just select the email accounts you want to use. So the 3 to 10 emails that you may have set up initially, you add those in. I would stop sending emails on replies. I'd hit enable on that. Open tracking, I'd disable. You can enable it in the beginning to understand what subject lines are working best. And then for your daily limit, you basically want to take the number of email accounts you have and you want to multiply that by 50, right? So if you have 10 accounts, times it by 50, it's 500. That would be your daily limit. Then you can hit save and you can launch that campaign. Before you launch the campaign, again, do make sure your emails have been warming up for at least a week to 2 weeks so that you don't get automatically thrown in spam. So now once your campaign is launched, you're going to look into the analytics. What you're looking for is pretty simple, but you're looking for an open rate of 40 to 50%, meaning 40 to 50% of your emails are being opened. This is basically showing you how good your subject line is and how good your custom variables are working to get someone to click it open. The next is the conversions, right? It's the number of people that have actually replied back and are looking to do it. The nice thing about Instantly is it auto sorts it for positive and negative replies. So it'll only show you positive replies here, and then it'll show you the actual data. So this is an example campaign that we helped the client set up. Right. So they were reaching out to restaurants, and this is what it looked like. So we had 918 emails sent, out of which 37% of people opened. We had a reply rate of 1.2%. We typically want to aim for 3 to 5. Overall on the campaign, we did have a lot closer to that. As you can see, we had a 4% reply rate here and a 6% reply rate here. Okay. So out of 918 leads, we got 323 to open on the first email for this version and 21 to send on the other. So it was automatically split. And then step 2, we had a 40% open rate and a 35% open rate. Overall, 43% of contacts opened the emails. Okay. Out of which we got 5 opportunities, basically 5 estimates. This is super valuable as a restaurant, as most know, could be anywhere from, a couple of grand to tens of thousands of dollars. And so I'd recommend you do multiple campaigns at the same time. I'll show you another one here. So here's another example. So this one was reaching out to builders, right? So we had 435 started, a 50% open rate, meaning half of the people opened up the email. We got 10 opportunities out of this. So this is for builder partnerships, right? From which the reply rate was about 1.5% on the first email. This is a good thing to note because, as you can imagine, if we're getting 1.5% on the front end, the follow-ups are so important. Then we go to step 2. We had a 3% reply rate, and we had a 3% reply rate on step 3. And so all in all, 10 opportunities, 10 different times we could go send estimates over or start those partnerships, super valuable. And so that's how your numbers should look. If your open rate is too low, you could be getting thrown in spam, or your subject line isn't great. If you're getting low reply rates, basically just means that your email isn't good enough and the offer isn't good enough. And then if you're getting low positive response rates, it's probably more so on the offer than anything else, or you're reaching out to an industry of people that don't really need your help. So more or less, that's how you set up a cold email campaign to reach out to all these different individual businesses. If this was helpful at all, hit the subscribe button down below, or you can comment any questions you may have. I'll send over some free resources. If you want to get signed up for Instantly, I've also put the link down there below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.